By the end of this video, we will have multiple trails and the basics implemented for our inventory system. To get started, I'm going to open up my trail remote config so that I can see what trails I have in my game. You can see I've got red, green and blue in my common, so let's start making all the trails. In the workspace, I'm going to add a folder. I will rename this to trails. I'll add another folder into this and rename this to common. This will contain all of the trails for the common. Make sure that the folder name common is spelled exactly how it's spelled in your trails module script. We're going to use this as a naming convention. I'll add a trail into the folder and I'll rename it to red for my red trail. Now we need a part to attach this trail to test it. So add a part to the workspace. I'll just make it slightly larger. I'll make it 4 studs by 4 studs by 4 studs. Inside of this part, add an attachment. And inside the 4x4 by 4 cube, we're going to move the attachment up 1 stud, duplicate it and move it down 2 studs. So we now have 1 attachment just above the center and 1 just below the center. These 2 attachments are where the ends of the trail will be. If I now go onto the red trail and set attachment 0 to one of the attachments and attachment 1 to the other, as we move back and forth this block, we now get a trail effect. And you can see that the height of the trail is the same as the distance between the 2 attachments. Of course, we're only using a part as a template for now. Once we've designed the trails and we've got the inventory system, we're going to equip it to the player, but we're not going to worry about that in this video. For my red trail then, I'll give it a red color. I'll just click on the color and make it red. Make sure you enable face camera. This just makes it look better. If we disable face camera, and we look from above, we can see that we can almost not see it. Whereas if we enable face camera, it always faces the camera, so it always looks like a trail. This is personal preference. If you want it to make it so it has to be side on to see it, then you can just disable face camera. If you want it so it looks the same from all angles, just enable it. Up to you. I'll set the light emission to 1 just to let some light through. You don't need to, but again, personal preference. You can add textures and texture lengths if you would like. I'm not going to add any textures, so I won't play around with it. And I'll leave the transparency at 0.5. You can now see that as the player were to move, it would get this trail effect behind the player. So now I will duplicate the red trail once I'm happy with it. And I'll rename it to the green trail. And I'll just make it a green color. And all the process is now is making different trails. You can see that with the light emission, the green looks a bit more like yellow. So I will actually set the light emission to 0 on both these trails. So now it's more green than yellow. I'll duplicate the green and rename it to blue. And now, of course, I will set this to a blue trail. You can also change around the max length, the lifetime and the minimum length. The lifetime is how long it appears before it starts fading out. Ignore the purple and the green that you can see as it fades out. It's because all 3 trails are equipped at the same time, so they're sort of interfering with each other. Don't worry about that. Okay, now I'll duplicate my common folder and rename this to rare. And this will contain my yellow and orange. I'll rename the blue to yellow, and I will make it yellow. And I will rename the green to orange, and make it an orange color. I'll delete the red in the rare folder, we don't need that. I'll duplicate the rare folder again and rename it to legendary. And I'll delete the yellow and I'll rename the orange to rainbow. Just make sure that the names you give these match the names inside the trail config exactly as they are here. Now for the rainbow, what I can do is click on the color and I've got these 3 dots. If I click that, I can select this first triangle here and give this maybe red. Then I can hover my mouse over the color and maybe if I put it about here, I can click and get another arrow. I can now change this to maybe yellow, and you can see it creates a gradient from red to yellow. And now halfway, I'll maybe go for a green. Then I will add a blue. Then I'll add a purple. So again, that creates the rainbow effect. Now I can close that. And if I now select all the others and just disable them, you can now see the rainbow trail. I'll just re-enable everything. And once I've set that up, I'm going to drag all the trails into the replicated storage. And I will remove our example part with the attachments, as we no longer need that. Now inside of our crate handler script, rather than returning the name of the trail, we want to return the actual trail in the replicated storage. So to do this, rather than returning the name, I'm going to get the folder of the trail type, so the common, the rare, or the legendary. So to do this, I can say something like local trail type folder equals trails folder. Well, let's add that. So at the top, add local trails folder equals replicated storage.trails. So local trail type folder equals trails folder, find first child, passing through the crate type. So this will be our common, our rare, or our legendary. And if we don't find it, then we're going to return. So if not trail type folder, then we will return end. And I'm going to come back to this return in a minute. Once we've got the folder, we need to get the actual object. So I can say local trail object equals trail type folder, find first child, and then we will use the name. So we're going to find the object by the name of the trail, and we will return the trail object. Now in our finish opening on server event, when we get the trail, I'll just say if trail, then. If we get the trail, then we're going to print the player got the trail. Else, we're going to set out a warning saying there was an error getting the trail. Please implement a plan B. Because at this point, the players actually purchased the crate, they've spent the currency, and it's not given them a trail because there was an error getting the trail. If there's an error, we want to either refund them the currency or have some other alternative. So we're going to come back to this, but right now I'll leave it at that. If the trail does exist, we're going to get the trails inside the player. Now we haven't set this up yet, but we will do in a minute. We'll say local player trails equals player, wait for a child. I'm going to wait for a folder that we're going to make inside of the player named trails. We'll say local trail value equals instance.new. It'll be a bool value. The trail value.name will be set to the trail.name. Trail value.value will be true. And trail value.parent will be the player trails. So what we're going to do is create a folder inside of the player, which is going to hold a bunch of trail values. For each trail the player unlocks, we're going to add a bool value into the folder. We're going to set the name of the value to the name of the trail. So rainbow, yellow, orange, red, blue, green, etc. We'll set the value to true, just to say that we've received that trail, we have it in our inventory. And if we have multiple of the same, let's say we have 4 blue trails, then we will have 4 of these values, all with the same name. And we're actually going to use that to save and load, which you'll see in a minute. First, I want to sort this warning out. If getting the trail fails, which it absolutely should not, there's no reason why this logic should fail, because the crate type should exist, because we're opening the crate. The pool should definitely exist, because we have loads of trails in our trail module. And this should not fail because we should have that crate type inside of the trails folder. However, if this does fail, then to be safe, I'll just give the player the most common trail. So if I open up my trails, my most common trail is red. It's in the common and it's a weight of 50. So if it fails, I'll just copy these 5 lines here, paste them in here. I'll still do the warning actually. I'll say error getting trail. And I'll just say giving red instead. And then I'll paste this logic below here. I'll set the trail.name to red. The value will be true. But there is no reason this should fail. If you want, you could refund the currency. To do that, you will need to rerun this logic in here, where we subtract the currency. You'll need to get the crate info from the crates being opened. And you can then get the stat and refund the currency. That is very long though, I'm not going to do that. Realistically, the only way that this is going to fail is if they're trying to exploit from the client to the server. If they're trying to change values around or play around with things they shouldn't be, and they're trying to give themselves better trails than the crate they're opening, that is the only reason this should fail. And if that's the case, then they don't really need a refund because they're kind of cheating it themselves. Okay, now open up the leader stat script. To our default data, I'm going to add in trails, which is going to be an empty table, and this will hold the table of all of our trails. We can then come down to the save data function. After we get the leader stats, I'm going to copy these lines, paste them below, and I'll rename this to trails folder. We need to get our trails folder. This will just be trails, player find first child trails. We're then going to create a table after we've checked if the cash and gems exist, or the trails that we own. Local trails owned, and this will be set to an empty table. And then we'll loop through each trail in the player's trail folder, and we're going to add the trail to the trails owned. So for underscore comma trail in iPairs, trails folder, get children, do table.insert into the trails owned table. And you'll remember that we're setting the name of the value to the name of the trail, so then we can just set it to trail.name. Now in our data to save, after the gems, we can set trails equal to trails owned. And we're saving a table now. Now inside of our player added, I'll copy our crate related data, paste it below, and this will be trail related data, and this does save. We'll have local trails equals instance.new, and it's going to be a folder. Trails.name is going to be set to trails, and trails.parent is going to be player. And then once we've set the cash and gems value, we can then loop through each value in our trails table that we've loaded and reinsert the bool values. So for underscore comma value in pairs data.trails do, we'll create the new instance, so local trail value equals instance.new. It's going to be a bool value. Trail value dot name will be equal to the value, and the trail value dot value will be equal to true. Finally, trail value dot parent will be equal to the trails folder. So now if we press play, if I open up my player, and you can see I've got a trails folder here. If I go and buy a legendary, you can see I get a rainbow inserted into my trails. And if I click on it, it is enabled. If I do another legendary, I'll get 2 rainbows. Now if I open up a rare, I will get either a yellow or an orange. I got an orange. And I'll also open a common, which I just need to give myself a bit more cash for. So I'll go to my leader stats and just set my cash up to 10,000. Buy up a common, and I will get a red, blue, or green. I got a red. So now I have an orange, a rainbow, and a red. If I now leave, just give it a minute to save, and press play again. You can now see under my trails, I have children in there, which is good. I've got my orange, my 2 rainbows, and my red. And if I select all of these, you can see that the value on them is all set to true. So the saving and loading is working perfectly. We now have the basics implemented so that we can go and work on an inventory. All we need to do for an inventory now is replicate this into a GUI to show what is existing, and some equip and unequip, delete buttons, things like that. Stay tuned for the next video to this tutorial. I have created a playlist which I'll leave a link to in the description, where I'll add all the videos for this tutorial as they get released. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe for more tutorials. We have a Discord server, which you can find the link to in the description, where you can ask for programming help, help others, or just chat there. You can also leave feedback on our videos and channel. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.